Hi everyone. So just running through a quick show of how Teams can be used as a virtual learning environment. So today I'm acting as a teacher and I'm running a course in digital and cybercrime. So what I've done is I've come to join Teams and I've created a team from scratch. I've created a private team just so it's restricted to those that are on this course. And you can just see on the left-hand side here, I've set up different channels for the different modules that make up my course. You will always have a general channel at the top, so I'm going to use this for some notifications and reminders, and for any kind of general questions from my class. But all my modules I've tried to narrow down into a separate channel to make sure that people can easily find the information that they need. So the first thing I've done when I've set up my team is I've just come to the three dots next to it and come to manage team. So because I've put some quite discrete channels in place, I've linked some key tabs and notes at the top. I don't want my attendees or my class to change these. So I've just come to settings, member permissions, and just allowing people to add messages, delete messages, add their files and content, but just can't kind of change the structure of the team here. What I'm going to do now is just take you into the general channel. So as I mentioned, I really want posts to be used here quite heavily just to put some key announcements, like I've done here, just to notify some students on upcoming tutorials. To do an announcement, all you need to do is come to the A button at the bottom here, come to the top where it says new conversation and make it an announcement. And here you can customize color, put a specific picture up there, etc. So I'm going to put a little reminder because it's a bank holiday weekend. No lessons on Friday. And you can see it just by doing it, an announcement really makes it stand out. You can also use @mentions here, and this means if I put the team name in, which is my course name, so digital and cybercrime, I can give everyone, there we go, in the team a notification pop up on their activity, make sure that this appears. And when I'm ready, I can just come and click to the send button here, but you can attach a document if you need to. And one feature I really like for learning is you can post this in multiple channels. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure my NT Forensics channel, which would normally have a lesson on Friday, gets this message going to it as well. So you can see here, it's just a really great way of making notifications stand out. They don't get lost in people's inboxes. What I've also linked at the top here in the general channel is for the whole course, just an open planner of all the different things that they can expect to do in each of their modules. So for each of my buckets, I've set it as a module. I've then added tasks with each of the different things they need to do in that module, and added a scheduled date so they know when things are approaching. And that just means if my attendees click on schedule, they get a really nice calendar that just shows all the different things that they're doing for each module. It's nice and clean, it's separate from their other calendars, and they can quite easily see what everything they've got to complete in each module, such as an assignment, how many tutorials will be available, and when they are as well. So I'm just going to jump into one of my module channels now. So this one on applied NT forensics. I can see those messages that I posted in general channel have copied across here as well, just to give a good notification if anyone's watching this channel in particular. And what I've done is I've linked a few areas up to the top here. So in each channel, you always get file space, and this is really key for sharing some key documents. So you might want to upload some slide decks that you're running through as a teacher, so that people can have a look at them before. Or what you can do is just make sure that the decks are uploaded after your lessons, so people can come back and check on them there. I've just uploaded a folder for course documents, so any kind of case studies, PDF, anything I want people to review, as well as looking at our lessons, I've uploaded into there. And then I've actually just got a whole folders for assignments. So this is where I'm putting all the templates for the assignments that my students need to do, and they can just take a copy of this or just keep on top of what assignments they've got coming. And if your course isn't discreet, you're not scared of people sharing what their assignments are. I've also created a folder for assignment hand-in, so my attendees of the course can just put their assignments in here labeled correctly when they finish them. And the beauty of these as well is when my attendees, my have uploaded their assignments, I can actually come in as a teacher and it loads it into Word, what we're used to. So I can see the assignment. There is an option at the top here where I can actually just do reviewing as well. So I can come and put some key comments in. I can say this is really great, but needs a bit of assistance and help here. And just add comments in as some feedback rather than just taking the assignment and giving a grade out. So really great functionality that's all inbuilt that you might be using already as track changes as well. Now at my tabs at the top, apart from the standard posts and files that you get, I've just linked to a web page for the curriculum that's on the College of Policing website. I've also linked to Forms. So Forms is a tool in Office 365 where you can actually create quizzes for your students. So here I've just linked to a quiz at the top that people can do as a knowledge check. And to get this set up, all you need to do is come to Microsoft Forms. You can select between a quiz and a survey. So you select quiz, and you can see here there's loads of options. You can put different points for each question. You can shuffle the questions. If you need to do a more maths focused questions, you can add them in too. And you can change the theme and always preview your quizzes as you go along. So I know each of my attendees of my course can just come and fill this out at any point. I could add more quizzes if I wanted to the top as well, or just update this tab once everyone had done it. And in the background, I get my results coming through and going all into an Excel spreadsheet there to keep track on how people are doing. Last thing I pinned up here is one of my key case studies that I've uploaded into my files. Again, just making sure that everyone knows where it is. Again, this is something you could change as your course goes on week by week, so you can just make sure the most up-to-date case study that you're studying that week is always pinned to the top for that module. Or as I said before, you can just come to tabs here and add the different options of Office 365. You just need to go to PDF or Word, whatever your case study is in, to link it at the top. So I'm really pleased that all my students now have everything they need materials wise, and it's quite a sensible setup, not too complicated. So now it's actually coming to running my actual lesson. So what I've done is in the calendar of Teams is I've just come to create a new meeting. You can see here I've got my Applied NT class here. Now, there are a few options you can set up. So you can add your required attendees in. You can choose whether your meeting repeats or not, if it is just a weekly class for a few weeks. And one thing I always do is actually come and I find my team, which is digital and cybercrime. You can actually link your meeting to a channel. So if you record the meeting, if there's any chats that happen while you're in the meeting, it always goes into this channel for your attendees. And when you're ready, you can send that out to your class. Now, I'm just going to go to the one that I've already created, this Applied NT meeting, and select join. And I've got a few options, so I can choose whether I want to show my face, have my camera on while I greet everyone. I can choose whether I want my mic on, and I'm just going to select join now to enter me into the meeting. So when I'm in here, I can actually come and share some documents that I might need, what's got my slides on for this session. You can also come to these three dots to record as well. So if you know someone's been pulled into some urgent work, they can't make the classroom that day, you can record it. So they've got a fully accessible recording they can view later. And this is a feature that's often missed. You can also do a whiteboard meeting. So I'm just going to put my chat at the side. So if any one of my attendees asks a question, they can come through there. I'm just going to select whiteboard, and it means if you're having more of a session where you want people to participate, put some ideas down, jot some ideas down, whiteboard means that I can actually, if I'm lucky enough to have a touchscreen computer, some quick ideas down. And my other attendees, as long as they're from your course, can be doing the same, so that they can be in a different pen. So it really does work like a virtual whiteboard. And also what you can do is share the link into the chat. So if you're trying to share actually on the screen your slide deck that you're running through, you can send this whiteboard link through on chat, and people can open it in a separate web browser. So you can still keep on track, add some key notes, key things to remember on your whiteboard. But on here, I could have switched back to my slide deck that I'm presenting. Also, the great thing, if you do choose to record your meeting, that meeting is stored in Stream, so it has full audio transcript. So you can just search for the key terms afterwards. So if you need a reminder about just a certain aspect of the course, you can jump through that hour-long lesson to the key 10 minutes that you need. Also in here, you can just do forms. So if you want to do a quick poll on how people were finding your class or the lesson that day, check a bit of knowledge, just come to the ellipsis here and select forms to send a little poll through. And you can also use praise. So if anyone's done some really good work, you can come to praise here and shout out to some of your students for great assignments or great work that they've done within their project and program. So I'm just leaving my meeting now and closing that down and just heading back to my team. Thing I might want to do is just to keep on track of all my meetings is I could actually link the stream channel. So I could come to stream. I can say I want to link to an existing stream channel. And what I can do is come and find my applied NT forensics channel into stream and just link that into my team. So I know that any of my students can come back and watch the meetings that we've just recorded. So I'm just going to come to my channels. There's my NT forensics team. And I'm just going to click share just to get the link to copy it. So it's asking me here just to paste link in. So I'm just copying that link in. It's found my team, which will have all my videos for this module in. And there we go. And it just means my students now, say if they do need to refresh on what happened in our recording, they can. Just remember, you do have the chat functionality in Teams. So what I've done is just come to the pen at the top here. You can add the members, students of your course in here and just give it the name of your course or the module that you're doing. And this just means that people can, you can ask them how they're doing, how did you find the content. Again, I might just want to send a little poll to my team just to see how hard they're finding the course. So I'm just going to do that. Now, how hard are you? I'm just going to put how are you finding the course content? Hurt very hard. Okay, and easy, just to get a little bit of a sense check from my team. So when I click send, this form goes into the chat, and you can see it just works like a little poll. So my students could come and submit a vote, and I can just get a little sense check on how they're finding the course so far. You can also do little breakouts in this chat as well. So if you want smaller groups that just catch up at different points throughout your lessons, you can always create a chat and then come to the video call or audio call option just to have smaller breakout sessions from the people on those courses. You can also do that by coming to Teams, going into one of your channels, and in post there's also a meet now option. And that means you could put in here breakout session. And if you selected meet now, it means anyone could jump into that channel and join that meeting as a little breakout. So I hope that's helped as a little review of using Teams, virtual learning environment, and I'm sure there's lots more we can add